Twitter. I'm wearing my charcoal gray zombie Jinx t-shirt. Then I would know. Anyway.
Well, to answer your question a little bit more seriously, though, I think, I don't know that it was so, I'm sure it wasn't so thought out that, oh, these are the people that are spending money, so that's what I want to write to. I think Felicia did two really smart things, which was she wrote what she knew. This was her experience being addicted to WoW for years, and that's her life, and so she wrote it. And then the other thing she did was, with the help of Kim Evie, was, hey, let's put it, oh gosh, let's put it where the people who are playing these games are online. Let's distribute to the web, and that's where you guys play, and that's where, of course, you would want to watch stuff. You know, like,
and that was Kim. I never thought about it. She had been doing a thing called Gorgeous Tiny Chicken Machine Show, and it's like a mockumentary Japanese talk show. And she had gotten that one of the episodes had gone viral, and she happened to be the first person who taught me a writing class. I only took one writing class ever, and it was a sketch writing class at Acme Comedy Theater. And she was my teacher, and then like a year later, I bumped into her, and we happened to renew our friendship, and that's how we connected on the Guild, is that I showed her the script I wrote, and she said, hey, we should do this a web series, and it was just completely like, yes, and then the decision to make it like that was like really scary. Like I'd never done any filmmaking at all. So it was all kind of like, not a hobby, but just like something that we were all just going out on a limb and just doing, not expecting anything. Honestly, we never expected anybody we never expected to shoot the whole script. We really just did it for fun, honestly. And everything was just because we liked what we did and we wanted to share it with people, and it grew and we believed in it, and people said keep going. And you know, having that kind of immediate feedback on the internet, like you uploaded a video and you're like, refresh, oh, that guy thinks I'm ugly, refresh. Oh, that guy wants to do me, refresh. It's so weird to see all those comments.
That guy who commented 12 thinks he's first. But to your credit, Felicia also just hung on to the rights. I mean, people were offering her to do the show for no money and to take all the rights to it, or very little money. And she's like, no, I'm gonna hang on to the rights of the show because we have an audience. And I think that was so brave and so shrewd because you really got to cut out the middleman. You know, it's like you're making the show for your audience the way you want to make it. And so when you guys go out there and buy, you know, these posters, this merchandise, these DVDs, it goes to help make more of the show. I mean, and none of us are rolling in it. This is not TV money, but it's literally just when you guys make a purchase, you're buying a little piece of the show and making it possible for a 4th, 5th, 6th season.
Yeah, because when I would actually get meetings with networks and big producers who are very fancy and very, very wealthy and you know, famous and all this stuff, and then they would offer me very little money, and they would want to take the rights and have creative input and this stuff. And I was like, you know, we're doing pretty good. We actually don't need you. So it was, and every single step of the way. It's only 2 women still really running the ship, and every step of the way when I wanted to do a DVD, and we got the rights. Okay. And
one more question after this.
We can take a couple.
Oh, 2 more questions. She's in charge.
Just wanted to correct you. Anyway, so when like a DVD company said, hey, we'll distribute this and we'll get it, you know, all these copies in stores, but they would take such a percentage of it that I'd rather, you know, really I made a decision, like I'd rather just have a bigger chunk of what people are paying for and sell way fewer, because to me that feels more real and more of a connection versus having a middleman who had nothing to do with creating the show just take a huge chunk of it for no reason. So, you know, some things you do need that middleman for, but I think the web is kind of democratizes things in the way that you can reach your audience directly. So you really have to think hard about adding, you know, all these layers of people and just taking, you know, bites out of your bottom line. So, you know, that's just felt like a more honest way to do business, and I mean, I stand by it still.
Firstly, I'm so thankful and just proud that you kind of instilled in the gamer community the whole like doing things for yourself and not selling out. Like, thank you, and obviously the applause you said it as well, but thank you again. So I kind of put a spin on my question. You're doing financially better than you were at the beginning. Has there been any kind of like notable turning point? Like, you know, was it like the first set of DVD sales? Was it like, you know, kind of teaming up with Microsoft? Was there any big like kind of kickstart to some of that financial improvement, or?
Well, I mean, we got a budget from Microsoft and Sprint, but it's very, very low. It's like the cost of a wardrobe budget on a mainstream TV show, you know? So, you know, none of us are making a full-time living off of web video necessarily. So, I mean, it's very hard to balance, and I mean, I don't want to go into all of the details and stuff, but getting a sponsor on board was, you know, clearly the turning point in that we could continue doing the show, because we couldn't expect people to work more than a year for free. So at least we're able to pay, you know, something, you know, everybody up front for all the stuff, and then, you know, doing all the other things with the show after that. But bottom line, finding the right sponsor, we weren't going to be able to continue on just donations or just, you know, our own dime, basically, because we couldn't. So finding the right fit was like a months-long search. And the cool thing about it, and the cool thing about being on the web, is that more and more people find it every day. So people come up to us today and they're like, I just found this last week, and we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And the cool thing about the show is that it lives and breathes on the web. So I mean, I guess you just have to keep going and keep going with what you dream, you know, your dreams are. And if that door suddenly closes, don't give up, just make another door. I guess that's what I'd say.
Again, thank you guys.
No problem.